before we dive into Wilmington and your work and the work that you and the team are doing there in the area, share for listeners a little bit about what brought you to Wilmington and what inspired, like what was the inspiration for your real estate career? What inspired you to get into this crazy business?
Yeah, so I guess first with what brought me, originally from Michigan, commissioned into the Marine Corps, was an aviation contract. So even though all Marine Corps officers have to go to the basic school, if you are an aviation contract at that point, you already know what your path is going to be following TBS. So I knew that I was going to flight school after, so I spent some time in Virginia, went down to Pensacola, did my initial training, and in single engine aerobatics, and then as well as helicopter. I went over to Corpus Christi, Texas, did my advanced multi-engine training, and then came back up here for the Fleet Readiness Squadron to fly the V-22 Osprey for the Marines. So did that in total about 8 years in the Marine Corps. Met my wife in the squadron that I was in. She's also an Osprey pilot. At that point, it was getting time to get out, and she's still active duty. So I knew I wanted to do something that was flexible. I thought it was flexible, and
Sure.
and really I think real estate can be, but I guess I didn't realize how demanding it was going to be on the time, which is not something that was new to me, especially with coming from a Marine Corps background. I mean, there's times where you're working 6-7 days a week, 10-12 hour days, depending on if you're in a workup or deployment, what have you. So that was not new to me as far as the time demand, but again, wanted to get into something more flexible where I could kind of work around her schedule. Real estate, I guess, is one of the good things about it is it does give you the flexibility to choose sometimes, for the most part, I'd say, if you're good at dictating your schedule, when you want to work. So this affords me to do the things like we have a newborn. I can stay home with my wife, take care of the newborn, do things like this podcast, get the work done that I need to get done, manage agents if I need to have somebody that's actually going out in the field to do showings or something like that. So to kind of back it up, Marine Corps brought me here. What got me in? I wanted to be able to take care of my family in ways that I necessarily couldn't always do when I was in the Marine Corps, where it was a time demand and you had a high tempo training schedule. Part of the reason that I wanted to join the team when I first got in, because I never went solo, wasn't an individual. The whole reason that I did it was so that I could have one, the knowledge and information from more experienced brokers than myself, kind of get into that mentorship role with them. But the other aspect of it is if I'm gone and I can't be doing something, to be able to tap them in and know somebody's competent that's there, that's going to be able to help me with my buyers or help a seller client with a question that I might not be available because I'm either on vacation or dealing with something with kids. I mean, it's huge. It's huge. We pretty much cover anywhere from down in Southport on up to Emerald Isle. Really, I've done Emerald Isle. So as far as where we hold market share, though, and specialize, you're looking more Ogden, Porter's Neck, Murrayville area of Wilmington. But outside of that, we've done it pretty much everywhere. Like I said, from Southport on up to Emerald Isle. Sold a few down at St. James. We've got decent market share over in Leland. Selling in places like Brunswick Forest, Compass Pointe, Bluffs on the Cape Fear. So if there's a neighborhood around, we've likely sold in it as far as our team goes.
I've heard of Leland quite a bit when I'm doing research on Wilmington. Is that kind of a growing area? Is there a lot of new construction out there?
Absolutely. Leland has been exploding in growth. Brunswick County, just in general, has been exploding in growth, and is contributing to one of the reasons that why Wilmington is the top growing metro in North Carolina and the top 5 in the United States.
Top in NC and top 5 in the United States. So I knew, and that's saying something because North Carolina is crazy growing. Charlotte, Raleigh, the Charlotte metro, the Raleigh-Durham,
Absolutely.
Cary area, Research Triangle, and top 5 in the U.S. Wow, that's so we're not the only ones that love Wilmington, right?
No, not at all. And they also talking about aviation. The fastest growing airport in the country is actually ILM.
Is it really? Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
There's really not a bad spot around here. I mean, if you plant
there's
your
not.
roots somewhere, you're going to find a reason to love it or the
Yeah.
reason we'll come to you. There's not a bad place. There's places that I prefer now that I've been here for a little bit. I'm in the northern portion of Wilmington in Scotts Hill. We're actually the southernmost portion of Pender County, still with a Wilmington address, where most of Wilmington's in New Hanover County. So we really like this area. We like the access that it gives us. Speaking of the Department of Transportation projects that have been going on, and a few years ago, the military cutoff bypass got put in, so we're able to hop on the military cutoff bypass, and we're down towards the beach in about 20 minutes. And if we want to go up north to Surf City, we're there in about 30 to 35, so we're kind of in a good central location here in northern Wilmington.
So Wilmington's growing extremely fast, as is the state of North Carolina. Obviously, I think the secret's out as far as climate and business friendly and taxes and so forth. It's just a really ideal place to live and to raise kids, start a business, you name it. Another area of Wilmington that comes to mind is the River Lights neighborhood. River Lights. Have you sold any properties there? My wife and I love that neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a great little spot. They actually blanking on the name of the coffee shop that's right in there, but that is, every time I go there, I stop in that coffee shop, and it's fantastic each and every time. They make a great pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah, yeah, it's good to see. Those homes it's a newer development, but still, the prices are still pretty approachable compared to a lot of the new developments. We see that around here as well in the Charlotte metro area, especially Lake Norman. It's not hard to find $1.5 million home. I mean, you can find those all day long. Yeah. It's finding the new builds in a nice community with some amenities that's in the the sub 800,000 range. That's getting really hard to find. But we love River Lights.
And that's part of what we're trying to encourage here as a realtor community through Cape Fear Realtors and through our outreach with local government and even government at the state level. You always hear smart development, and that's what I encourage. Not in any official backing, but my personal capacity. I think we need to develop smartly. There is a point where you get to, like, one of the reasons that people come to Wilmington is because of its charm. So you don't want to lose the local charm, so you want to develop smartly. At the same time, you still need housing, affordable housing for all the citizens around Wilmington. You still want your firefighters, your police, your military to be able to afford to be here. Your grocers, your bartenders, your waiters, waitresses, you want them to be able to afford to live here, be able to have the ability to afford to live here. And they help make Wilmington what it is and make it great. So we need smart, responsible development to continue. And that's what we've kind of seen in certain areas. In other areas, it seems like growth is kind of going unchecked, which is, if you, again, going back to the Wilmington Community Facebook pages, you can go scroll through that and see a lot of local outrage around that. But ultimately it comes down to supply and demand. So there's a high demand to be in this place, and we need to continue to meet that with the supply that's going. But there's, River Lights is a good example. The community that my wife and I moved into is Blake Farm, which is on the northern side of Wilmington. That is a 5 or 6 phase development by D.R. Horton. Going to be a couple thousand homes going in here. There's also 55 and up community. There's condos for lease. There's townhomes for lease. There's townhomes that are going to be for sale. They're selling, 2-bed, 1-bath cottages that are going for, around $300,000. Actually sold out of those. Hoping that they're going to put those in the next phase. But that's a smart, responsible development that we need. A mixed use of housing. They kind of bring in that full master plan community when you're looking at putting in sidewalks, putting in the community pool, putting in the community playground, community fire pits, things like that. So there's definitely out there. New construction, again, going back to it, it's like, people ask, how do I win in this market? You win by taking advantage of the incentives that new construction is offering right now. You got companies or new builders that are offering incentives to buy down your rate. They're offering closing costs. They're offering move-in packages, so you're getting a refrigerator, washer, dryer, blinds throughout the house, which isn't always, people think that comes standard. That's not always the case. So they're doing a lot to try and get people in a home. So the resales you're not getting a home warranty. You're coming to have to negotiate repairs. So, I think that Wilmington, Leland specifically, and Brunswick County are offering some great opportunities for people to get into affordable housing.
What would some other advice be that kind of comes to mind for you for those who are considering real estate as a career? Because it continues to be so alluring, and social media, I think, does a great job of making it look like a lot of fun and very lucrative.
Well, it
can be.
You get the real estate agents that are doing the TikTok videos. You think they're selling millions of dollars, and they've sold one home all year.
Right. The one rolling up in the Range Rover, and
Right, yeah.
What else? What are some things that kind of come to mind for you?
Yeah, I think when it comes to that, I guess my first bit of advice for new agents, and I gave this to the gals that joined our team recently in the last year, you need to get out and meet people. I think in today's digital day and age, where people are spending time online comparing themselves on Facebook and Instagram, or just reading comments or nonsense that's on there, people are starting to crave more and more face-to-face interaction. Real estate's always been a contact sport. It's always been a relationship game. How do you do that? You actually have to go out and meet people, take part in the community, go to networking events. And I don't mean like, there's networking events where it's literally just everybody that's a realtor, lender, or insurance agent. Like go to events that are part of the general public. Volunteer to be part of your local association. Volunteer to work with the homeless and the poor, to do all of those things. Go just be a part of the community, be a solid asset, give back. And when you give, people will give back to you. I think that's the other thing is, I don't want to like be negative on here, but I think a lot of times we think about it as it's just natural. It's our selfish human tendency to initially think about what can that person give me. But if you flip that script and think about how can I bring value to this person, and how can I bring value to my community, your community and those people will then bring value back to you. Be the local community organizer. Get events going for people. Obviously everybody's different, and there's so many different ways to generate leads or to build relationships or to build contacts. The best advice that I'd always gotten was you take what you love doing and then make that a part of your business. For me, it's like I love volunteering, being involved with whatever it is that's going on with our local association. So I was the chair of the professional development committee. I'm going to be the vice chair of our local leadership academy for this upcoming year. Applied to be a director this year, didn't get in, but going to put my application in again for next year for that. It's that even though I haven't met people that are let's say I'm going to just buy or sell with, those are other realtors and other people that I'm meeting that in the event that I'm ever across the aisle on a transaction with them, well, I mean, as well as I do that negotiations go much better once you have established contact with someone before and you have a working relationship, they've met or talked to you before, and in that way you're better serving your clients now that you have built those relationships.
Joe, I really appreciate you joining the podcast, man. This has been awesome. I told you I'm going to be spending some more time in Wilmington and in the coming months, and possibly full time in the coming years. So I would love to stay in touch, and I know that Wilmington being the destination, being the desirable place to live that it is, there are agents who have been guests on this podcast and who are listeners and subscribers who might be looking for a referral partner in Wilmington as well, as they're listing their clients' homes who are moving to Wilmington. So for them and for anyone else listening to this podcast, what's the best way to get in touch with you and connect?
Yeah, if you're looking for social media, I've got an Instagram page, kind of playing off the aviation thing. It's kind of corny, but when I first got in, I had one of my partners was like, you need to have a cool tag, like you're a pilot, you should be real estate maverick, and I was like, whatever, let's go. So it's kind of just stuck. I haven't changed it, and I laugh at it when I think about it, but it's Real Estate Maverick NC, North Carolina, for my Instagram handle. Otherwise, you can reach me by my email, my first and last name at kw.com, full name Joseph Zarzycki at kw.com. So between those two things, I'm usually pretty responsive, and I would love to connect with other great agents around the country that have been on the show. Obviously, appreciate you bringing me on, Jeff, and reaching out to get this going. You actually found me on Instagram and reached out. So that's how we connected, and it's I think it's great what you're doing. I think it's really, really cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you continue to build it up into, and looking forward to seeing you get out here in Wilmington, and let's grab coffee or lunch or something, man. Do this in person.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely will. Next time I'm out there, I'll let you know. We'll grab coffee or lunch. I'll have those links, of course, in the description, Joe, for this podcast, and we'll definitely tag your Instagram account when I release the episode as well. And again, Joe, really, really appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
No, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. Glad to be here.